This is the curly maple back and sides that I'm going to start working on now. Take a look at this. This is just spectacular wood. I need to make sure I've got my game up to par on trying to build this. I sure don't want to screw this up, because when finished and lacquered, gosh, that's going to be a good looking back and sides. Can't wait to get started on it. I'm going to start with making the back first, and I took this to my joiner and I have jointed a nice straight flush line here, or joint, but I'm going to use this shooting board and a sanding block just to make sure that it's really good and straight and smooth for the glue up. It appears to be tight, but I'll take it and hold it up to a light and make sure there's nothing getting through. We have a tight seal all the way down, and holy mackerel, that's going to be good looking. Now that I've joined the edges here, I'm going to now glue the back up. And I've got some clamps here to hold these two pieces together as I apply the glue. Put some wax paper down so I don't glue this to my sled, to the gluing jig that I use. I've got some water and some shop towels. I'm going to put a center stripe. When I ordered the binding, I ordered 4 pieces of ebony binding, and I did not think to order a 5th piece to put down the center strip. So I'm going to use a piece of herringbone. Got some glue on this paper just to, I don't want to get a bunch of glue all over this. Double check, make sure I'm gluing this up correctly. this fence here slides, so I'll push it forward, get as much tension as I can on it. I've got these little blocks here with wedges. I'll put these wedges in here, and that'll help push it to create the clamping pressure that's needed. Ah, shit. A little too much pressure there. Here's a quick tip. When you're drawing the outline on your template, I always trace the template, and then I come in with a washer and I draw a second line, and that's the line that I will cut to. And that way, you know, your braces extend past right here. Well, if you cut here, it gives you plenty of working room. You bring your braces out to here. Then when you go to cut your slots in the kerfing, you've got plenty of room to do it. So just a little tip. Well, something's missing. Notice anything? I had a near crisis. The back, that decorative herringbone zipper that I glued in there, the joint, I don't know what happened. I don't know if maybe it was something I did, but the joint failed as I started to, after I ran it through the thickness sander. Once I started sanding the top, it failed. It split. And for a second, I thought, oh my goodness, we have done this. The whole project's gone. So I took a heating blanket, put on here, and I heated it up, and I got as much of it to peel off as I could. Down here, it was. The glue joint did not fail, so I had to take a block plane and plane it down. Well, then the problem was getting these two plates dead flush so I could get a straight glue line. And you know, I cut this oversized to my template, but when you take that middle piece out, then that's bringing it in, of course, and then you start sanding this or planing it to get a straight glue line, and you're shrinking this more and more. So fortunately though, I still have plenty of room on the edges there, and I went ahead and glued in the that reinforcement strip. But what I did, I could get this line pretty straight, but right here in the middle there was this tiny little gap. So I just took a piece of oak that I jointed flat, super glued some 80 grit to it, laid it down, took the plates and held them flat, and then just rubbed, you know, sanded up and down and got a straight line. And so now I'm back in business. I just had to re-rack and start over. And one other thing, I've never worked with curly maple before, but you can see a couple of spots here where the drum sander burned it, it looks like. And I've taken my random orbital sander and I've sanded it. Right there, it's really showing up. And I can't seem to sand that out. So I'll just have to keep going forward and just see, maybe once I get the box attached, then come in and try and sand that out again. But it's a pretty piece of wood. I think it's going to look really good. Disaster averted for now. Next step is I've cut the back braces to the 8 millimeters wide, and let's see, on the top one, 11.8 millimeters tall, and I've marked where they intersect this reinforcement strip. So now I'm going to come in with a sharp chisel, and let's see, maybe I'll try a different chisel. And I want to come in just a fuzz above the pencil line. And then put downward pressure, cut. This is really soft Sitka, this reinforcement strip. And do the same thing on this side. And now try to cut that away. There we have a nice clean cut. Let's see if we have a fit. Oh yeah, fits just right. So I have the 15-foot radius dish here clamped down to the bench, and I'm going to start sanding. You can see there's a lot of meat's got to come off that bone. So I'm gonna start sanding. if you hold both of them together, you risk the tendency to rock it back and forth. If you're just doing one and you're putting pressure, you might be putting a little more pressure on one end, and you wind up sanding it the bottom where it's at an angle. So it adds a little more stability. You get a straight bottom. Just about there. So I have the braces glued on, and I have scalloped the back two braces. And on the top two, I did not scallop them, I just sloped them down. And now I'm putting that peak, and I'm doing it with the, I may have to switch over to my, my chisels, but I think I can just do it with the block plane, get a little bit smoother cut. And just like on the top, the idea here is to get rid of some of the weight, take care of get some of the mass off of here. And I put this card scraper here to try and protect that back strap, or that reinforcement patch there. So I can do this left-handed. So I've completed the back. I've sanded it. After coming in with the hand plane and chisels, I came in with some 220 and just smoothed these out and touched up this spruce a little bit. The one thing I'm just a little concerned about, may not be able to see it, but when I ran this through my drum sander, it left some, you kind of see it, it left some streaks. The sandpaper cut some streaks in there, and I've used my random orbital sander. I started with 100 grit, came all the way up to 220, and I can't get rid of it. So I think when I thickness the sides, I'm only going to run the inside of the sides through the sander, through the thickness sander. So the back is completed. I'm going to put it away with the top and start bending the sides.